Hey, what is up, guys? It's me, your boy Ronico Taylor. I am I am recording this as a sequel for the title of our podcast. Yeah. Woo! Anyways, if you got about a year ago, if you guys had seen, I did an interview for my high school class film broadcasting at Central Campus, and I had to interview this high school senior, which his name is, you might guessed it, Hunter Christionson. We don't know each other that well, but we were in the same class and we know each other on Instagram and shit like that. So I invited him to come back on. It was all peaches and gravy. We all chill. Man, today we're gonna be talking about what's his first year of college been like. With at this point it been gone. We're at this point when it's out. I'm gonna be having it out in June. Actually, fuck it. I don't really have a date. I'm just gonna put out whenever I really feel like it. But imagine it's basically the summertime. At this point in my life, I have April, May, June. Yeah, I have 3 months left. So I hope you guys enjoy. Check this out, and let's learn about what's the next episode is gonna be like. I mean, what next college year is like, and if you want to see him back in the next 2 to 4 years, blow this video up, please. We don't take views here. We take likes. But anyways, take care. Have a good day. Later, bitches. I'm out. What's up?
Not much. What's up with you?
Not bad. Thanks for coming on. I was gonna
Yeah,
put my camera on, but I'm tired, and so I think I just you said either way. So
yeah, that's reasonable.
all right, well, but yeah, thanks for thanks for coming on. It's cool talking after a year. How's your first year's college going?
So far, I mean, really good.
You're in a film, right? Or like, what are you do? What like exactly are you doing? Just if you could recap me.
I'm at the University of Iowa, and I'm doing a cinema major.
Cinema. Okay, so you're still going for the idea of film.
Yeah.
What's college like currently? Is it, people are you saying it's a scam or like it's a good idea? What's your opinion on it so far?
So far, I mean, I've really enjoyed it and felt like it was worthwhile. I mean, for me, it's maybe somewhat different because I have kind of a unusual major,
Yeah.
and because I was able to take a lot of advanced classes in high school, I pretty much got all of my generalized stuff out of the way. So a lot of the classes I'm taking are related to, my film major.
Kind of already
And
did
of
a
course,
little bit of college in general.
I had a lot of practice going in, and obviously, I mean, I don't know yet
Yeah.
how well my degree is going to help me get a job afterwards. I'm hopeful, but I guess I can't speak to
Yeah.
that part yet.
I don't think I actually ever asked, like, which is funny being the first one, but what actually got you into it? Like, what was it like freshman year or like middle school? You got into it because I know we did like I know Alexander, which she's coming on next, guys. You got we talked. He was we did the podcast and whatnot, and then we talked about like some stuff with movie making, but then like I don't. But did we ever ask like did I ever ask like what got you really into it?
I don't remember if you asked that or not, but I can answer anyway.
Yeah, sure.
I guess throughout kind of my whole life, but I would say especially middle school and early high school. I mean, I just really liked storytelling. I did a lot of fiction writing, and then in my freshman year, second semester, I took a creative writing class, which Alex was in, and then for our final project, there were a bunch of options for what you could do, and one of them was to create a short film. And I'm glad Alex was there because I probably wouldn't have taken that option because it was probably the hardest one. But he really liked the idea, so we kind of got into it with a couple other kids in the class, and we made what was a really crappy first movie. All recorded on our phones and not very well made. But I guess I realized that that was another form of storytelling where it was kind of a lot more fun. I mean, I was just at the time, in high school, I'm just hanging out with my friends while I'm making stuff. And then I don't know, the more and more I did it, I just kind of got more into the medium.
You kind of took more seriously.
Yeah.
What was the class you said? I didn't hear you exactly.
Oh, it was a creative writing class.
Okay, so like they just give you the option to turn your to like basically make a script out of it.
Yeah, there were like a bunch of units in the class, and one of the units was on like script writing. That was just an option for the final project.
Do you remember what it was?
It is called The Murder in Montana, so it was just really crappy. We had a bunch of suspects we created, and then the whole film was just interview after interview with the suspects of the case as you like slowly got more information. It was like a half hour long, and it did not need to be. It's very boring to watch, honestly. But at the time, I mean, it was we were pretty happy with it.
Is it on YouTube? Because I think I saw something like with the Grim Reaper or something. It was in an office.
That was something we made much later on. Our first project, I think it might be on YouTube, but it's probably private or unlisted. That was I think one of our like most recent things we actually like released on YouTube. Because that was for our senior year IHSSA.
I heard you and you, Harper, Alex. I think it was Cabe as well. You guys did the 48-hour challenge. How'd that go? I didn't get a chance to check that stuff. I mean, like I never got chance. I don't think because I didn't have a crew that year or anything.
I mean, I think I had a lot of fun with it. Alex and I have always been like kind of partners, or at least in high school we were like the duo. That was we were like the director duo, and then Harper had her friend Thomas, and they were kind of a duo. And so we like combined for this project. And it was the hardest part that I remember was the writing. There was like kind of a too many cooks in the kitchen kind of situation because we were all just like disagreeing all the time. And then once we got to the filming, it smoothed out a lot more, and it was just kind of like fun. And so overall, I think it was a very positive experience. But yeah, it is like it was very different working with like more people than just Alex.
What was the plot? I never, like I said, I didn't see it. What was the plot? Is it like gonna be out on YouTube anytime soon?
I don't know if we're gonna like put it on YouTube again. I think it might be, but it's probably unlisted because I don't know.
You just
But
didn't
the
like it
plot
that
was,
much.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. Because obviously it was made in 48 hours, so it's not like super high quality. The plot was about like I think it was like an interrogation for a guy who was a murder suspect. So it was showing these like two officers kind of trying to get a confession out of him. And yeah, it was like a pretty like serious tone, I would say. And so I think that's honestly one of my kind of because I'd never done 48 hours before. Once we go to the premiere where they're showing all the movies, almost all of them are like, like comedy or in some way funny. Because I mean that's just kind of the easiest thing to do in 48 hours. And ours was the only one that was like trying to take itself seriously. And it's still I think that if I did it again, I would probably
Do comedy.
not do that as much. Yeah, I think that was our biggest mistake there.
I remember it was like maybe the year before I started. Like I tried it out for myself, and I gamed the team. My cousin who I helped him out mainly. He like the plot was like about this chick who got raped, and I was like, what the fuck after it? Like, cause he was like third to last, and I was like, wow, that was a serious tone.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I didn't want to. I was so uncomfortable. If I had known then what I know now, then I would have left, okay?
Keep going.
Then I guess just cuddling wasn't enough for him.
Yeah, so like obviously you can do whatever, so it's not a big deal. But that just like when I was like freshman year old me, that was a little in the eyes, just like woman crying, and then just like these officers, and when like obviously it has its own but it was you get the gist. I'm just saying that kind of was something. Now that you're high school, it's been what like a year, I think. What's it like being out in the real world, as people like to call it?
Honestly, I thought it was going to be a lot harder of a transition than it actually was. Like a lot of people, I mean, really hate living in the dorms and that kind of thing. Obviously, I miss my family a lot, but living by myself is honestly kind of nice at times. I mean, of course, I have roommates, but having like my own kind of space a little bit and having more kind of responsibility for taking care of myself and all of that has been kind of like nice for me, honestly. I think next year I'm gonna actually move out into like a off campus area outside of the dining halls or outside of the residence halls. So that'll be, I guess, even then another added layer of responsibility to like keep up this like apartment or house that we're in. and we have to worry a lot more about cooking our own food and doing our own work, and I think it's like still a very good way to kind of slowly transition into like the real world, like you said.
Adulthood and like just actually doing your own thing.
Yeah.
Is the dorms basically just the adult word for like boarding school, or like what exactly does it look like?
For me, I mean, it's kind of just an apartment building essentially, where it's just all students. Like I have, my dorm, like my residence hall has like 8 floors. Each one probably has, maybe like 50 people on it. And then in my specific room, I live with 2 others. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like I said, kind of just like an apartment building.
When I did go back, like last night, I did some like went back just to recap the previous one we did for Central Campus and whatnot. And I remembered that you said you're making a short film, like it was set in the woods or something like that. You're gonna try to make an actual movie and whatnot. Obviously, I assume you're probably focused on college right now, but like has that been in progress anyways?
Oh yeah, that was that's a very like long story, because that was actually like not even really a short film. It was intended to be like an hour long.
Yeah, like I said,
Yeah, it was all out in the woods. It was very ambitious, so many actors, and yeah, unfortunately, we did not finish that, and we probably never will. Even though I mean, we invested like so much time and money into that, but I think that was probably a important lesson in like not biting
not
off
your
more than
eggs
you
in
can
the
chew, I
basket.
guess. Yeah, yeah, like kind of knowing what you're able to do with the resources you have and not trying too much more than that. It was a lot of fun, but like I said, we also had invested so much into it, and it's never going to get done, and that does kind of suck.
What'd you invest into it? Was it just like money and like time and stuff, or like how do you mean?
A lot of money. I mean, like obviously our films have like a very small budget, but I mean, I put probably like $1,000 into props and all of that kind of thing, because there were a lot of like complex costumes there. And then also, I mean, a lot of time. This was, like I said, it was like an hour-long movie, and we got through probably 75% of it, which was, I think it was almost 20 days of filming. So yeah, it was a lot of our own time, and then also, I mean, our actors' time too.
You just gonna delete it, or like obviously time is gonna be like a tricky factor with that because like you're what 20 years old, something like that, 19.
Yeah, I'm 19. I
Or
turned
like
20 in September.
okay, so like we're basically the same, but like are you not gonna just try to pick it up eventually? Maybe like maybe with a different person, try to pick it up or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've thought about that a lot, and I'm honestly not sure. I do have all of the footage that we recorded, and I really want to do something with it eventually. In terms of like finishing it, there's a lot of issues with like actors. I mean, even people that we don't talk to anymore that were main characters, and even those who we are friends with just probably don't have the time for that anymore. So like we've talked about, trying to I mean, either releasing what we have or trying to like do some kind of recast, but I mean, it just never really goes anywhere because none of us are that really interested or like invested in that project anymore. And so I'm honestly not sure. I probably will do something with it eventually, but I have no idea what that'll be.
People usually have three ideas of like what you'll do like once you exit out of high school. It's either college, the military, or you'll. What made you decide college was the road for you? Was it just because your parents and like filmmaking and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess as long as I can remember, I've always just kind of assumed that I was going to go to college.
Because you can always like it doesn't you don't necessarily need a degree to do college, like it helps, but it might not necessarily need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, I think I mean, yeah, I've always kind of just assumed that I would, and I think that especially, I mean, coming right out of high school, I can't imagine, going into like, an actual real job, and I mean, it definitely like especially with the film industry, you don't necessarily need a degree, but it does. I mean, it helps a lot, and also just the connections you make in college. I mean, I'm only like a semester and a half in, but I already feel like I have a way better idea of what I want to do next, or even how to do that, I guess.
Do you still want to be more like an editor and writer, or what kind of like what's your thoughts now that it's like a year and a half's passed?
I think both of those the jobs you said, like editor and writer, are both things that do interest me a lot. I'm actually considering doing like a double major, so I can also do screenwriting. So yeah, I mean, either of those are still definitely on kind of the top of my, or like on my radar. But I'm also, you know, considering like, I mean, really anything that like would allow me to work on a film set as well sounds awesome. Like in one of my classes the other day, we were talking about, film sets and all the different, pieces that go into that and all the different jobs. And so it was like a, 30-minute or an hour long lecture just going through all the jobs on a film set, and like hearing all of those, most of them, I was like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. I would do that. So I'm not fully like sure yet. I'm kind of hoping in the next like 2 years I'll kind of figure that out better, exactly what I want to do. But yeah, the two you said I think are still definitely ones that I'm at least heavily considering.
Think I've heard, like, I don't know the exact years and date, but like every several years, it's like your brain cells are like redeveloping, and there's like new ones. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I heard. We're ever since like from the last 4 years, when like we were freshmen to like seniors, maybe sophomores in your case, but like now that in 2030, when we are 4 years down the line, and we're like year and we're like out of college, or like you're out of like or we're just like in the real world for the most part, we're all gonna be different people. We're gonna be like full grown adults at that point. Do you have any advice or anything you want to say to yourself, and maybe like we can do a recap interview or something like that?
Ooh, that's a good question.
But
Oh,
yeah,
I don't know what I'd want to say to myself in 4 years. I'm curious of what myself in 4 years would want to say to me.
would you want like obviously it's 4 years, you can't really tell at that point, but would you want to maybe come back on in a year or two, maybe just like do maybe a recap or something?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Whenever.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
always down for just coming on for a little bit.
All right. Well, I try to every episode where my guest gets 15 seconds at the end when I say go, where you just share out like a social, like the website, like, basically they can ask themselves.
I'm Mr. Vinvan on Instagram. I don't really use a ton of other social media yet, so I don't really have any other things to whatever the word for that is.
Checking this episode out, go check us Insta down in the description, as you just said. And yeah, this today's episode. If you want to see any of the other episodes that we did, and go check out the school playlist in my on the channel. And yeah, it's under. Oh wait, I think we made one talking about supers and other stuff. And go check the others out. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoy. Come back if you want to see another one. And yeah, later, gators. Peace.